Good evening. Welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Supachon Klinsuwan. Regarding last night's live broadcast of a boxing match from Macau, the Democrat Party is now asking the government and the National Broadcasting and Telecommunications Commission, or NBTC, to take responsibility for Thaksin Shinawat's recent appearance on TV Channel 11. Deposed fugitive former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawat appeared on state-run Channel 11 last night, presiding over a Muay Thai event commemorating His Majesty the King's 85th birthday. He also led the organizing committee and the audience in the arena in lighting candles and singing in honor of His Majesty. Those responsible for the transmission within the government, the Public Relations Department, and the NBTC have been asked to identify themselves. A Democrat Party member said the fact that Channel 11 broadcast Thaksin live from Macau should be investigated. Chayasit Shinawat, a cousin of Thaksin, is the chairman of the organizing committee of the Muay Thai Warrior. He said the incident was not planned beforehand, but he met Thaksin recently and invited him to be chairman because Thaksin was a former prime minister. Meanwhile, General Bunlet Gyalprasit, the Pitaksayam leader, said that it was inappropriate that Thaksin should use state-run TV paid for by the people's taxes to give a speech for his own benefit. And while the government is expected to propose that the House amend the Constitution, the opposition party says it will do its best to ensure that the highest law in the land benefits the public and not any individual. The ruling Pheu Thai party insists that it has no intention of tearing up the charter or supporting undemocratic rule. Article 291 of the country's constitution, which focuses on the process of constitutional amendment, is likely to be the focus of the heated debate in Parliament in a couple of weeks when, according to analysts, the ruling Pheu Thai party will again try to establish a constitution drafting committee. Today, the law states that only MPs and senators have the legal rights to amend the charter, while members of the public can endorse a draft amendment provided it carries the names of at least 50,000 supporters of the change. The opposition and anti-government groups have long accused the government of being ready to amend any law to benefit certain individuals. The government has always denied such claims. The coalition parties are now unified over the Constitution amendment, as the law must be based on three principles: to promote, support, and preserve the constitutional monarchy. The Constitution must come from the people and citizens. Participation must be allowed throughout the entire process. And finally, the Constitution must promote and protect citizens' rights. The current 2007 Constitution was drafted under a coup d'etat. The Democrat Party said that they will continue keeping a watch on the Constitution amendment attempts by the government, as the Constitution must be based on the people's needs and come from the people. The opposition party is certain a hidden agenda lies within the government's desired amendments. And earlier today, red shirt or pro-government supporters rallied across Bangkok as well as at the Royal Plaza to show that they are against all forms of dictatorship and that they cherish the Constitution. Today is Constitution Day in Thailand, and cabinet members, together with bureaucrats, politicians, and public organizations, paid homage to King Rama VII's statue in front of Parliament House to show gratitude to His Majesty the King, who gave royal consent to the proclamation of the Constitution on December the 10th, 1932. The Excise Department has extended the time for all first-time car buyers to submit the required documents to the department to claim their tax rebate. According to the Excise Department's figures, more than 700,000 applicants for a rebate have already been submitted, more than the government had forecasted. 50 billion baht has been allocated for the tax refunds. A larger than expected number of first-time car buyers have or are in the process of applying for a tax refund under the government's first-time car buyer program has meant that the Excise Department has had to extend their service hours until 8 p.m. on weekdays and may open at the weekend if applicants are unable to meet the deadline. To date, 710,000 100,000 first-time car buyers have applied for the 100,000 baht excise tax cut, exceeding the government's expected figure of 500,000. Somchai Poonsawat, Director General of the Excise Department, warned that all applicants must follow the rules and regulations, and the buyers cannot change the owner of their first car for 5 years from the date of purchase. Meanwhile, this year's Motor Expo is enjoying increased sales activity. After 7 days, more than 30,000 orders have been placed, and that figure could increase by as much as 50%. The controversy surrounding the government's rice pledging scheme deepened today as farmers in Nampong district of Khon Kaen province protested, claiming that they were underpaid by as much as 4,000 baht per ton after trying to sell their rice into the government's rice pledging scheme. The government's rice pledging scheme promised farmers 15,000 baht per ton for their crop, but in the latest incident, some farmers claim they received only 11,000 baht per ton. Earlier today, a number of farmers rallied in protest after selling rice to the government's rice pledging scheme in return for lower payments than promised as part of the scheme. Suchai Butsara, a sheriff in Nampong district, said that the documents didn't identify why the payments were reduced. However, the authorities say they will pay the farmers back the money deducted. Meanwhile, the National Anti-Corruption Commission has set up a subcommittee to investigate graft in the government's rice pledging scheme, because the scheme may cause the damage to the nation as some rice exporters benefit from the scheme and the rice's selling price is lower than the buying price. Bunsong Teriyapirom, Commerce Minister, said that he hasn't been summoned for questioning by the National Anti-Counter-Corruption Commission yet, but he is able to answer all questions on both the G2G rice deal with China and the rice pledging scheme in general. And now moving down south, the mother of an American ski instructor is in Phuket searching for her son, who she claims went missing on the resort island. She fears that he may be in danger. 69-year-old American Faticia Lee Bean, the mother of 43-year-old Brett Chapman Bean, is back in Phuket to follow up on the missing person report she filed regarding her son with police last week. Bean, accompanied by American Embassy staff, told the media that her son, a ski instructor, had been in Phuket since April and was scheduled to return home on November the 29th. She was waiting for her son's arrival in Los Angeles, but he failed to show up. After checking with the airline, the family discovered that Brett had never got on the plane from Phuket after speaking to his mother by phone. Police found the room he was staying in on Phuket Island is in normal condition, and all his belongings were still in the rented room. Police on the island are distributing pictures of Brett in the hope that he may have been seen recently. While his mother fears her son may be in danger, police are not making any comment. Ms. Bean is now offering 50,000 baht to anyone who locates her missing son. An eviction campaign in Cambodia's capital city, apparently to make way for high-end shopping centers, will see some 30,000 Cambodians forced to move from the land which they claim belongs to them. Here's more from Hugh Adams.
Some 100 protesters, mostly women, marched on Government House in Phnom Penh to protest against the government's policy. At least one woman was injured in clashes with riot police. Protesters and human rights groups say farmers, local villagers and city residents claim they are being forcibly evicted from their homes as the authorities prepare to sell the land to private sector developers, including foreigners. They add that landowners' rights are being ignored. The Cambodian government claims the evictions are to make way for high-end shopping centres and proper housing. Today, only 1 in 5 Cambodians are in possession of formal land title documentation, in a throwback to the Khmer Rouge's abolition of the right to own private property. Protesters and rights groups today suggested that some 30,000 people will be forced out of their dwellings before the scheme is over. The World Bank froze aid to Cambodia last year when the government started evicting families in Phnom Penh. Hugh Adams, ThaiPBS.
Thank you, Hugh. Bride's whale, or Wan Bruda in Thai, have been spotted in waters of the Gulf of Thailand near Samut Songkhram and Phetchaburi provinces. The discovery of the mammals has attracted great attention as both professional and amateur whale watchers flood into the area. Finding a school of Bride's whales is proof of the rich biodiversity in the Gulf of Thailand. The Bride's whales currently in the Gulf include some that are the smallest ever found, so scientists are keen to study this group. The presence of 4 Bride's whales in Thai territorial waters in both Samut Songkhram and Phetchaburi provinces has prompted a large number of tourists to rent fishing boats to get a close-up look at these aquatic mammals. The presence of this species of whale in the Gulf of Thailand is not that surprising given the abundance of anchovy, their favorite food. The Bride's whale is close to extinction and is legally protected under international treaty. They used to be found in abundance in the Bonok Sea of Prachuap Khiri Khan province. The whales in the Gulf are smaller than others in the same species found around the world, so scientists are keen to study them in detail to see if there is a new species of whale. And finally, the Meteorological Department is warning of more cold weather as well as rain in some areas over the next few days. Temperatures on the hilltops in the north may soon be as low as 3 degrees Celsius. The active high-pressure cell from China extends into Upper Thailand and the South China Sea. Cool to cold weather with morning light fog is likely in the north, the northeast, the central region, and the east, and isolated frost is forecast on mountaintops in the north. As an easterly wind prevails over the Gulf of Thailand and the south, widely scattered rain is likely in all regions of the country, especially in the south and on central plains. Tourists in the northeast were enjoying the cool winds at Pa Mo Ing Dang, located near the controversial disputed area between Thailand and Cambodia. Temperatures were measured at 19 degrees Celsius. In Nan province, tourists flooded Doi Samor Dao and nearby hilltops to witness the sea of clouds and mist. Authorities have banned tourists from carrying alcoholic beverages up the mountains for their own safety. In the far north of Thailand, disaster prevention and mitigation officials claim 200,000 Thais still lack proper blankets and warm clothing. Doi Inthanon, Thailand's highest mountain, saw the mercury drop to 3.5 degrees Celsius this morning. Tomorrow's lowest temperature is expected to be 3 degrees. So make sure you wear proper winter wear and drive safely. I'm Subhajang Klinswan saying good night for now. Until tomorrow, สวัสดีครับ